Is football coming home this summer? And what about the future of Gareth Southgate? Hey guys, I'm back to the channel. Welcome to another video. For someone that's not quite fully aboard the England train, I got to admit, last night was pretty incredible. England beat the Netherlands by 2-1 in Euro 2024 semi-final. And of course, now that means that they will advance to the final stage of the competition where they will meet Spain to determine who are going to become the European champions for 2024 in Germany. But last night, England fans across the nation were in absolute awe, jubilation and ecstasy as to obviously the manner of which England won their game against the Netherlands by 2-1 thanks to goals from Harry Kane and substitute Ollie Watkins. We're going to be talking about the final to come. We're going to be talking about last night's game, of course, and we're going to be talking a little bit about Gareth Southgate's future in this whole video, because I wanted to touch upon the future of Gareth Southgate, because I did put out a video yesterday, which you can obviously go back and watch, about Southgate's run as England manager. And I was told about whether he deserves a bit more praise and a bit more appreciation for what he's done. Kind of ties more into that after, of course, the events of last night. So without further ado, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. I'm sure you have a lot of interesting thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, about this particular topic down below. So please do get involved. We'd love to hear from you all on that. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's get on with talking about England and Gareth Southgate. So, yes, essentially last night, England 2, Netherlands 1. England made history last night, making it back-to-back European Championship finals. The last time they obviously were in the final of this competition was 3 years ago in Euro 2020, when, of course, they met the Italians, and Italy won on that day via the dreaded penalty shootout. This time around, it is Spain that's going to be standing in the way of Gareth Southgate's side from just being, again, a case of nearly winners to actually being winners. And whilst I'm not going to go too much into detail on what I think about the final, that's to come in a future video between now and Saturday, in terms of a final prediction for Euro 2024's final, I gotta say, last night was a bit Jekyll and Hyde from England. It was better, but it still wasn't perfect. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't great. You had England be very, very good for the first 45 minutes. That is the best 45 minutes I think I've seen from England. You had them create half chances, half opportunities, some decent chances as well. I think Harry Kane, before, obviously, he scored from the penalty spot. I think he had a chance to score. I think it was a decent save from the goalkeeper. Phil Foden had one cleared off the line. Phil Foden, I think, also clipped the outside of the post, if I remember correctly. But the things that really mattered was, of course, Xavi Simons' screamer for the Netherlands to open the scoring. And then, of course, that prompts England into going into plan B, which is essentially just go out there and do whatever you like. Do something special that's going to get us back into the game. And that's exactly what England did. That's what got us the penalty. We were a bit more attacking. We were a bit more on the front foot. We got the penalty. I don't necessarily think it's a penalty. Yes, there is contact. But just because there's contact doesn't always necessarily mean it's either a foul or it's a dive or whatever the case may be. There is contact, yes. A foul? I don't think so. If you're going to give that as a foul, I think if that's the benchmark that you're setting for a foul now, you're going to give, guaranteed, about 50 more penalties a season for things of that nature happening in the penalty area. That's just my thoughts on it. I can understand why it was given to some extent, but also I think it's incredibly soft, and I think the Dutch have got every right to be a bit annoyed and frustrated that that kind of thing was given. Anyway, the penalty was given. Harry Kane converts it. He equalises. And then from there were a couple of chances in the first half. But then after the first half, England reverted back to type. It was boring, it was slow, it was like all the energy from those England players were burnt out after about the 50th or 60th minute. The Dutch took over, the Dutch took control. They didn't have too many chances or clear-cut opportunities themselves, did the Dutch, but it was kind of lulling towards extra time. And then Ollie Watkins comes on and makes an instant impact. Cole Palmer as well, shout out to him as well. He's been brilliant when he's been coming on in these kinds of games. Really injects a bit of a spark of energy into the game. His assist, Ollie Watkins finding himself in a bit of a tight area, but managing to squeeze out a fierce shot which goes into the back of the net. A brilliant finish by Watkins. He's been doing that for Aston Villa all season. Fantastic for him. What a year or two he is having, by the way. He's had a brilliant past couple of years, has Ollie Watkins, and fair play to him. Had to obviously bide his time to get his chance, and he took that chance really well. The unfortunate thing for him is, I just don't see him starting on Sunday. But more on that a little later. Last night, I don't think was down to Southgate yet again. I think it was mainly down to England's superior strength and depth. I think they had very much a superior strength and depth on the Netherlands, which is a stroke of good fortune, a stroke of good luck. And of course, Southgate just used that to the full extent. And, you know, I've got to give him credit. Fair play for taking off Harry Kane, because he hasn't done that in previous tournaments. He hasn't done that in previous games until it's been too late. So, fair play for him actually having the guts to actually take off Harry Kane in that moment and put on Ollie Watkins, who, of course, has what Kane doesn't. The ability to run in behind the defence and the ability to obviously stretch defences like he did in that particular moment. That, in my opinion, is going to be what is going to be definitely needed if England are to have any hope of beating the Spanish on Sunday. But Watkins is the hero, Watkins is the match winner, and England go marching on into another European Championship final. Now, on the night, the win was probably deserved in England's favour. It wasn't great, it wasn't amazing, it wasn't perfect, but I think out of the two teams, I think they just about deserved the win, given the performance. Across the whole tournament, I keep saying it's undeserving. And it is a little bit undeserving when you consider that England, you know, very fortunate to get through. Very fortunate to somewhat top their group, given the standard of teams that were in their group, considering they drew 2 of their 3 games when they should have passed that group by flying colours. Very lucky that they were 60 seconds away against Slovakia from exiting the tournament, and then Jude Bellingham pops up with a moment of individual brilliance. The Swiss was very strong for the majority of the game, but again, individual brilliance from Bukayo Saka saves the day, and then a lottery of a penalty shootout wins it for England. In this game, it's all about the strength and depth of England. It's all about the strength and depth, which we have praised and we have said will come in handy at some points in this tournament. That was on show last night. The issue is that obviously you keep on showing this strength and depth. Why not just get it right from the beginning? I'm not saying it has to happen all the time. Can't happen all the time. It'd be incredible if it did. But to say that he's obviously made the barest minimum of changes in each and every single game just shows you how stubborn and resilient this manager is. But that may be for another video. It's the results that count at the end of the day. And once again, last night displayed that in abundance. It's the result that counts. International football is not purely based on performances. It is purely based on results. This is what knockout competition is dressed up for. It's all about, and Southgate gets away with it in abundance because he's got plenty of individual talent around him. He's got plenty of individual quality. And as I mentioned in my video yesterday, although there has been a lot of luck in terms of the teams he's faced, in terms of getting through to these good positions in tournaments, the level, the standard of international football, which I think has been declining, the guy has been getting rather fortuitous, but you've got to beat what's in front of you. You can only beat what's in front of you. And of course, the major test will be on Sunday when England take on Spain. Massive task. Spain have been the best team in this tournament by far in terms of not just performance level, in terms of high performance level, in terms of quality and talent, but in terms of obviously consistency as well. Spain have had all of that in abundance. And yet, a team that has been floundering around, being below par, below average for large parts of the tournament, is going to be meeting them in the final on Sunday. It has all the makings of a great game, and like I say, if this England team does turn up, if this England team manages to carry the first 45 minutes of the game against the Netherlands into that game and make it stretch a little bit further than just 45 minutes, we could be in for a real good game on Sunday. We could be in for a class final between these two sides. But what we know is Spain play different to every single team that England have faced in this tournament. So it's going to be about how Gareth Southgate adapts, how he attempts to try and counter the Spanish threat, and how he is going to try and implement a game plan into that team. Vibes, good vibes, and just hope is not probably going to get you a European Championship trophy come the end of 90 minutes or 120 minutes or maybe even a penalty shootout. There has to be a plan. There has to be a bigger plan. And there is a game plan there that can be exploited. The Spanish aren't exactly invincible or impenetrable, but at the same time, he's got to use the right personnel. He's got to use the right squad. And if he does that, and he does that in abundance, then England will walk away with the European trophy. They'll walk away with glory in Germany. They'll walk away with bringing football home this summer. Simple as that. But I don't necessarily think he is going to do that. And that begs the question of where his future may lie. Now, of course, at the beginning of the summer, before a ball was even kicked in this tournament, there was a lot of talk about Gareth Southgate maybe going to Manchester United. As a rival fan of United and as a Liverpool fan, I was praying. I'm not a religious man, but I was praying, I was hoping, I had all my fingers and toes crossed that was going to come to fruition and that Gareth Southgate would be unveiled as a new Manchester United manager, because I thought it'd be absolutely hilarious. But of course, that now is not going to come to pass. Instead, what we have got now is a bit of a conundrum. I think it is very predictable what happens, though. It's a conundrum in terms of, if England win, does he stay on? If he loses, does he go? I think it's very predictable what happens no matter the outcome on Sunday. I think if he wins, he stays on. I think if he wins, he stays on and he manages England through till, at the very least, the 2026 World Cup. That is what I think. And also, I think that because I don't think he's going to get a club job. I don't think his style of management, I don't think his reliance on basically vibes and hope is going to get him far at club management level. And his style of play is too defensive that no one's going to like it, and no one will like it, and there'll be a lot of angry people, no matter what club he turns up at. I don't think many clubs will, or many club fan bases, should I say, will be welcoming him in with open arms. The other alternative is that England lose it, and now this is where it's a bit 50-50 for me, because if England lose it, Southgate can go, well, I've gotten to another final, I might as well stay on. And again, the aspect of would I get a job anywhere else right now might come into play as well. He might just stay on because it's a job at the end of the day, which is going to be bad news for England, because that means we're wasting another couple of years under the handbrake style management, the restrictive style management, the shackled style management of one Gareth Southgate. Alternatively, he actually could go, and I think he would walk of his own accord. I think the FA wouldn't have the guts to sack him. I think this would be Southgate turning things down and walking away himself. And that's where I think it would be like, right, I've taken them as far as I can go. I've got to 2 finals now. I've got to a couple of semi-finals in that time as well. I'm just going to walk away. I'm just going to walk away and I'm going to let another manager come in who may be a little bit better than I am and maybe get them across that finish line like I tried to do so many times. And I would somewhat, on a somewhat, some sort of level, would respect that. I also think it should have come years ago, but I could always respect that being from Gareth Southgate's point of view and his perspective. But there are quite a few alternatives as to what happens on Sunday, depending on whether England win or lose it. The Spanish, of course, stand in their way. It could be like I say, a very interesting game to come. I can't wait for it. It's been a great tournament, and obviously I'll review the tournament later on at a later date, sometime after the final. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. As a, not necessarily an England fan, but still sort of an England fan, I guess, on some sort of level. It's weird. I've become so disassociated with the England national team. I heard Mark Goldberg talk about it last night. Like, I've become so disassociated with this England team because they're so frustrating to watch. All that talent, all that individual quality, and yet we've got a manager that doesn't match up to what this squad possesses. It really does frustrate me, and I just don't feel it as much. I don't feel it as much as everybody else did when I was watching scenes of people celebrating in different cities across the nation and even in Germany. I'm not that into it. I'm really, really not. I don't know whether it's just me, whether I'm weird, or whether there are other people that actually feel the same way as me. But either way, I'm looking forward to Sunday, regardless. I'm looking forward to the final. It should bring an end to what has been a great tournament, in my opinion. If England are to win it, fantastic. Great for the nation. It'll be unfortunate for the Spanish to play so well and then lose it at the end. But, yeah, that's just the cruel, cruel nature of tournament football, if that is to be the case. If not, Spain probably are the ones that go on and fully deserve it. So, a lot to play for, and obviously I'll be back later on between now and Saturday night with my with my prediction, my preview on England versus Spain, the Euro 2024 final. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. What do you make about England last night against the Netherlands, winning and making history by going on into the final? What do you make of Gareth Southgate? Do you think he should stay on as England manager now? Do you think that he should probably walk away himself? Or do you think that the FA should step in and get rid of him and look for a replacement? There is also the alternative that there may not be a manager currently available that might tick all the FA's boxes. So maybe Southgate stays on in that respect. So there could be that alternative to look at as well. But I want to know what you guys think and feel on this. Your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it on this particular topic. I'm sure will make for great and interesting reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always greatly appreciated. And of course, as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I'll see you speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers guys, thanks everyone for watching. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.